finally, another video. It's been a couple of weeks, I think it's probably been about 3 weeks or so since I recorded my last video. And today I'm training away, probably see, I'm in a much bigger gym today. I'm in Empowered Fit in Liverpool, which is only about half an hour from where I live, so it's not too bad in all honesty. Very good gym, decent amount of equipment in here. So the intent with today is legs, obviously. It's gonna be quite a long session. Hopefully this video won't be too long. But you know what I'm like, I'm normally like, yeah, this video won't be too long, and then it ends up to be an hour. So I'll try and keep it short. I may well just sort of like cut in a few of the main movements. A few tips and bits and pieces as to why I do certain things, but stay tuned. And again, welcome back. It's time to get after it. Probably likely to end up the same as all of my leg sessions, to be fair. Probably seen the ones that I've recorded previously. It generally goes in the same order. The reason why that's the case and the reason why I stayed exactly the same is it works for me. Like when it comes down to leg training, I can get away with relatively low volume. My volume's even lower still now for reasons I'll go into a little bit further down the line, but I'm literally down to, I couldn't even tell you how many sets without looking at my logbook. I'm down to fewer sets now because I'm only aiming for one working set, and that's it. There's no working set and back off yet. That's purely just because of where I'm at right now, focusing on recovery and not battering myself to the point where I'm having to take days rest. Yes, it's great having the muscle soreness afterwards, but right now it's not going to serve a purpose in terms of what I need, as I say, in the now. So started on the adductors, on the leg extension, got 2 more warm-up sets before my working set, then it's onto the pendulum, the real bread and butter of the work. Got a nice decent pump in my quads and adductors already, which is the reason why I do adductors then leg extensions. The adductors make sure your hips are warm and they're prepared for the pendulum, and then going into a leg extension, it then makes sure that your quads are warm. I used to do, say, adductors, leg extensions, hamstring curls, and then go into the work. But then I realised I don't actually need that because I like to work my hamstrings separately later on in the session where I can kind of tax them a little bit more. So I'm going to get into this next warm-up set, see how far we can kind of progress with this today. The next machine I'm on, you've probably seen me do it numerous times, probably over the last 18 months or so, is the pendulum squat, which is a machine that I love to hate. I hate this machine, the machine hates me, but it's worked wonders for my quads over the last, as I say, 18 months. 2 years or so. Happy with my sets on the leg extension. Did feel a bit of pulling through my IT band on my right leg. IT band out of sweep my quad, however you want to look at it, which felt a little bit dodgy. Am I going to train any lighter? No. Am I going to train any less stupid? No. Am I going to get it seen to? Probably not. I probably should, to be fair, because it didn't feel too polite. Still managed to hit a top set, decent amount of weight, so I'm happy there, no complaints. So I've got, again, another working set on this. What I did on the adductor and the leg extension, and it seems to be the way of all my training at the moment, is working in like a pyramid sense. So it's doing 3 sets of 10, working my way up in weight, and then one top set of 8 to 10 again. It seems to be working really beneficially for me since I've been doing that in the last like 2 weeks or so. I used to do sort of like the tapering, a bit of a tapering method where I do like 8, 6, 4, 2. Generally used to do say 4, 6, or 6, 4, and then straight into the working set. But the reason why I've done that with the adductor and the leg extension is because they're isolation movements. When I come down to something like this, doesn't necessarily play into my push sessions or my pull sessions too much. Is on the pendulum is I did 8 reps of a lighter weight. This set I'll do 6, then I'll chuck some more weight on for 4, and then I'll do my top set, because I find I can really kind of take this a little bit further than if I was to do that method. Because as I said at the beginning, like, yes, I'm trying to still hit that point of sort of maxing out my quads, but I don't want to get to this point next week and my quads are still fucked, because it's not ideal. Hardcore, yes. Ideal, not really, because I need to focus on recovery at this point. So I'm going to get into this warm-up set of 6, then see what other weight we can add on to it. Previous best on this I think was 40, and I think I've got more than that in me today. So we'll just load up and see where we go. That's the fucking up gassed. Working set on pendulum done. I think I was 50 in the end for, I don't even know. I literally said to myself at the start of this session that I was gonna track my weights, because this could be like a regular fixture in terms of a gym for me, being closer to home. But yeah, I completely forgot what reps it was. So I think I'll just go modest and put like, I think it might even have been 10. I'll go back and watch the footage and actually find out. I'm on to the hammer strength seated leg press. Yeah, hammer strength seated leg press, which isn't usually my go-to. Not a huge fan of a seated leg press, to be honest with you. I always prefer pendulum, like the squat press, like we've got in Next Level in Preston, or the hammer strength 45-degree leg press. Basically, most 45-degree leg presses I don't find too bad. So I'm on here, just going to take it for a spin, just on a warm-up, well, first warm-up, and then see how many more we need. Now, conversation I had with Ewan going back last week, maybe the week before, is about utilising warm-up sets, because if you go, say, take a push session for instance, you start on the pec deck, warm your chest up, go into an incline Smith press, you think, yeah, okay, you need two warm-up sets, straight in at top weight, and then you think, 3 movements into the session, 1 warm-up set, straight into the top set, which if anything, that's just gonna ruin you before you even begin. Because you've got to think, every single machine that you can see around this gym all has different paths of motion or ranges of motion. So you've got to focus on that. Like, if you do, say, like a pec fly, then go onto a press, the motion is completely different. So you've got to carry that all the way through your session. He's utilising 2 to 3 warm-ups at least to get the muscle primed to work in that particular fashion, because if you go from a fly to a press, the motions aren't the same. Yes, you're still working your chest, But it means that if you utilize those warm-up sets, and as I found in my push session at the beginning of the week in particular, is I can push a hell of a lot fucking more with good form, decent reps, still the amount of intensity needed. So just take that into account. I'm going to see how ridiculous I look trying to get in this fucking machine, which is why with someone with shit hip, knee and ankle mobility, it's not ideal. So this may contain sensitive scenes that may offend some viewers. I'm not too upset by that, being honest. Feels good. I won't lie, doesn't play into my knees too much. Still hitting the outer sweep of the quads, and right now, I don't think I could force any more fucking blood into my quads. Like, my quads are ruined already. Seated hamstring curls, adductors, and then it's job done. Overall, so far, it's been a good session. And to be honest, I made a massive mistake before I left to come to the gym, because for the last 3 days I've been meaning to shave my head. So I did it this morning, and where I shaved it, my head was really dry. So I had to moisturize it, use a bit of Norwegian formula. And I think it's actually stopping me from sweating. Because my head is so hot. I think I'll be driving home with the windows open. But anyway, there is something I'm going to show you on the seated hamstring curl, which I do for a few movements in the gym. And I'm going to kind of go into the reason why I do it. Believe it or not, one set on the hamstring curl. Man, I love this shit. Oh, fucking hell. So seated hamstring curl is probably one of the most self-explanatory machines to use, in all honesty. And I'm not slagging this place off or anything like that, just gonna throw that out there. When you're on the seated hamstring curl, you do not need a seatbelt. That's a bit of a politer way than I was gonna put it. I've never once used this machine and felt the need to use a seatbelt, because you've got the knee restraints, keep you in the seat. And if you're doing that much weight that it's lifting you out the seat, maybe you should think you're going a little bit too heavy, because any guys that would be doing, say, 3/4 to full stack on this would be jacked, and they would not be getting pulled out the seat. So just bear that in mind. The way that I've done it myself is, yes, I've done full stacks on seated hamstring curls before. As a result, I still had shit hamstrings. So having dropped the weight back and actually focusing the movement, as you saw through that warm-up set, it has put me in a much better position, because I'm now actually able to target my hamstrings. I've actually got something that resembles that of a hamstring, believe it or not. So take that on board. could probably, I'm gonna get hate for this, but you could probably get away with using a seatbelt on a leg extension. That's slightly different. But even then, I could leg extend more than my body weight. I could leg extend 90 kilos. Is it gonna give me any growth? No, it's not. I'm actually leg extending less than my body weight, meaning I don't need a seatbelt. Plus I'm actually using the handles on the seat itself to keep myself locked in. So seatbelts on any machines, they're just unnecessary, in my opinion. So I said back on the leg press, there was something I was going to tell you about which only popped into my mind and I'll finish that set. So there's something that I do on this machine in particular where you probably see I do like a couple of partial reps before starting my set. It's not because I'm getting nervous or anything like that. The reason why I do that is it's just a few little pulses to feel that my hamstrings are firing before I go into a set, because I don't want to get, say, quarter of the way, halfway into my set and have to readjust so I can feel it. I want to be able to feel it from the first rep right the way until I hit that failure point somewhere within the rep range. To be fair, it's not the heaviest I've ever done in this machine, 55 kilos for 9 or 10 I think it was. But to be honest, I'm not too fussed, to be honest with you. Like, still managed to take my hamstrings to failure, and that's all that matters really. So onto abductors, and then I'm going to go and cry into my hoodie in the car. So the seated abductor, I always get the two mixed up. The seated abductor is probably the one machine that is neglected the most by males that go to the gym. You see very few people using this unless they've had like a lower back sciatic injury. But yeah, you very, very rarely see males using this machine. Now, I use this machine all the time, personally, not this one in particular, but the one that we've got in Next Level. And it's one thing I'd used all the way through prep, every single morning post cardio, and I would argue that's what got my glutes inside out fucking shredded. So I'll carry on to use this because I've always had what I like to think quite strong glutes. I think that was quite evident with my stage pictures. And again, it's just a great machine to use. Like, why would you not target your glutes? You can have massive quads and shit glutes and you're just gonna look fucking weird. So if you can have big quads, you might as well have big glutes at the same time, big hamstrings, and just go for the full package. Or, as most people do these days, don't train legs. So anyway, first warm-up set's done, onto the second, may do a third, onto the fourth, and then, yeah, it's job done. So that's the leg session done and dusted. Very good session across the board, to be fair. I quite like coming over here. It's a big gym. I probably should have given you a bit of a tour so you could have a look. But I think we're kind of spoiled for choice in terms of gyms around this area. There's a few people who've said to me that have visited over the last sort of couple of months. Only thing that kind of stuck in my mind was when I was on the leg extension is the outer sweep of my quad sort of playing up a little bit. I believe it is IT band. Might be wrong. There is a particular name for it. So I probably will get that looked at hopefully over the next week or so. To be fair, I could do with my quads going over anyway because they feel pretty knotted up, as I found going back a couple of weeks or so. Hopefully, I'm not going to keep saying this. I know I've said it a few times, but I'm going to try and drop a few videos over the coming months so you can see what's going on. A few updates. Maybe we'll do a day in the life, come shop with me and all that shit, which I know you'd be particularly interested to see, me walking around a supermarket that you know. But yeah, time to get off, go and get some fuel, then go home and have my post-workout meal.